At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Welcome, race fans, to the Valley of the Sun and the always intense Phoenix Raceway. Tonight, it's Tier 1 Truck Series action in the desert. It's the Tier 1 Truck Series 150 presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. 150 laps lie ahead on this fast 1-mile oval with stage breaks at both lap 30 and 60. But this isn't just another race. It's the opening round of the round of 6 in the Tier 1 Truck Series playoffs. The championship picture is narrowing, and with only 3 races left before we crown a champion, every lap, every pass, and every point matters more now than ever. Drivers will be digging deep, fighting hard, and leaving nothing on the table as they battle for the ultimate prize. The lights are on, the trucks are staged, and the fans are ready. So buckle up, because the road to the championship starts right now here at Phoenix. We here at Tier 1 Studio want to welcome you to this broadcast of some Tier 1 Truck Series action. As you can see, drivers are making their way around the track, getting ready to qualify for the first round of the round of 6. Yes, you heard that right. We have a elimination style playoffs for one half of the season in terms of our playoff action. But now it's a chase for the championship between 6 drivers who now are separated by a matter of 32 points between 1st and 6th. And these drivers will be making sure that every point matters in their tally tonight here at Phoenix as the sprint to the championship continues on. The race is on dock, Phoenix, Dover, and Las Vegas. So make sure you don't miss a thing by liking and subscribing to Tier 1 Studios so we can continue to bring you some awesome Tier 1 playoff action. Drivers are continuing to make their way around the racetrack for qualifying, and we are very excited for who will be our in-race reporter tonight. That will be the driver of the 94, Justin Sumner, who comes into tonight's action as your points leader. And at the moment, These drivers are doing everything they can to lay down some fast laps to get their trucks in the right position. For anybody who might be new to watching Phoenix, it's all about keeping momentum up, especially here in the Truck Series. You're going to want to be able to roll the corners very well, and then eventually, when you get to the dog leg, you have to be a bit bold. Wrap that car down onto the bottom of the racetrack, brave the bumps, keep the truck underneath you, and cut that long section of the racetrack that awaits you on the opposite end of the raceway. You see Greg Wood here do just that. That also causes some calamity if there's green flag pit stops and guys aren't watching where they're going. You might be able to run into somebody leaving pit road. Hopefully that won't be an issue for our field here tonight. These drivers are wrapping up qualifying now. As we transition out of qualifying and into the warm-up session, we're going to be giving you the race rundown for tonight. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. And yes, Brett Bullard in production's able to be the wizard that he always is for race 1 of 3 for the championship 6 here at Phoenix. You can see track temperature is primed for some awesome action. Only 73 degrees out here in the desert, which makes track conditions favorable for heightened grip. And as you can see, this track features just a smidgen over 1 miles of raceway. And these drivers are very excited to be able to throw some major blocks and ultimately try to put their trucks in position again at the end of lap 30 and 60 to rack up some stage points. We mentioned earlier how the championship 6 is shaping up, and we want to be able to make that graphic known to you as well. The point standings for the Tier 1 Truck Series going into this last leg of the season. Justin Sumner will be the guy they're all chasing. He'll be our in-race reporter. We'll hear from him momentarily. With Eddie Baker following behind him, Dakota Ramsdale, 22 points behind him. And then on the other side, you see Greg Wood Jr., 27 behind, with his teammate Matthew Erickson, 29 points behind, and Jared Hayes, who squeaks in to the final 6, is 32 behind Justin Sumner. All those points can be made up relatively quickly in regards to stage racing, and these drivers are primed and ready to make the best of it. At this time, we're going to bring up Justin Sumner to the booth, and I think we got him now. Justin, it's Zach up in the booth. You have a copy?
I do, sir.
Mr. Popular here in the round of 6. They're all chasing the 94 truck. What do you got to do around Phoenix to make sure that you have a good night?
I've got to be consistent. I clearly see that I am lacking the qualifying speed, so we'll see what we can do. I feel like I have a good long run speed. Just gotta have everything fall into place. So we'll see how that goes. Got to stay clean. Got to stay out of the mess, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
We talked in our opening about how aggressive it can be going through the dog leg. What's the handling like in the trucks as they make that transition from the normal racing surface onto what is effectively a giant apron? Is the truck handling well, doing all that?
The initial hit on and off with my force feedback is if I'm running one-handed, it'll definitely snatch it out for sure. So we just have to be patient. My wrists are going to probably be killing me afterwards from doing it, but hey, there's a price you pay to make it feel real and get after it the way you need to.
I'm not saying that you got to go and hit the gym, but maybe focusing on those wrist workouts is probably in your near future. So go and enjoy the workout, and then we'll probably talk to you here at the end of stage 1.
That sounds good, man. Appreciate you, Zach.
All right. Good luck tonight, Justin.
Thank you, sir.
That's our in-race reporter, Justin Sumner, making sure that he's doing everything he can here in warm-ups for these drivers to prepare for what is the points leader, sitting in a pretty good position himself on top of the leaderboard going into Phoenix. Taking a look at some of these other drivers through the field, you can see the Tier 1 setup shop machine of Matthew Erickson. I want to talk to you a little bit about Tier 1 setup shop, simply because you can not just see it on Matt's car, but you can see it here on Scott Milliken's ride, because Tier 1 setup shop is here and ready to go to make sure that what we do here is broadcasted and available for all of you. They are the title sponsor of the Tier 1 Truck Series Racers. It's time to level up. We're proud to introduce Tier 1 Setup Shop. It's a brand new name here in the iRacing world, and it's more than just about fast setups. Our mission, simple, to help you perform your best on track and to feel supported off of it. Are you as goodness gracious, here we are at Tier 1. Excuse me. At Tier 1, we're not here to just drop a setup and disappear. We believe in feedback, collaboration, and community. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just dipping into open sets, your input helps us to improve every build. We're launching with competitive setups for cup trucks, late mods, legends, and more. And if you got any questions or need adjustments or just want to talk racing, we're here too. Real support, real people, not just transactions. Visit tier1setupshops.com and hop onto the Discord to join the team, to give feedback, or just hang out with fellow iRacers. That's Tier 1 Setup Shop. We want to encourage you to go find the title sponsor of all Truck Series action here for Tier 1. And now we're presented with the starting grid for tonight's action here at Phoenix. Race 1 of 3 for the Championship 6 here at Phoenix. Dakota Ramsdell will capture the pole tonight at a 26.637, and just behind him is Eddie Baker, the driver of the 84 machine. Justin Sumner will start third, with Jared Hayes with a great qualifying run for him, rolling off fourth tonight. Roll 3 will feature Matthew Erickson and Bill Sleep, starting sixth this evening in the 65 truck. Scott Milliken, as mentioned before, in the Tier 1 setup shop machine, will roll off 7th, with Greg Wood Jr. starting 8th. Dave Harrington will start 9th for tonight's event, and TJ Elaine will start 10th. These drivers are rip-roaring and ready to go, and I hope you are as excited as I am for some awesome action here at Phoenix. Being patient, letting the truck come to you, and try to get a long run machine might be beneficial. We talked to our in-race reporter and championship leader, Justin Sumner, that he doesn't feel that the truck's got a lot of short run speed in it. Who will be the comers and goers for tonight? As every point matters, these drivers will be jockeying for stage points. Others in the field who aren't in the Championship 6, they don't care. They're racing for glory and for a checkered flag at the end of the day. Playoff dreams, championship ambitions. Meet the ambition of just simply winning one more time. These drivers rolling off 2 by 2, and into the restart zone we go. Dakota Ramsdell is going to lead the field to the green here at Phoenix. And you can see right away these drivers dip right down there to the apron. Ramsdell going to do everything he can to make sure that truck stays in front of both the 84 and 94 machines. These two have history of racing hard beside one another. Sumner was able to get a good launch off that restart, really get that truck to roll through the center of the corner. You're going to see how aggressive these guys are, just making that hard turn down all the way on to the bottom. You can see the sparks fly off of these trucks. Some guys getting a little upset already further on back in the field, but our attention remains up front. The battle for second between Eddie Baker and Justin Sumner. Meanwhile, Dakota Ramsdell's doing everything he can to just enjoy the view from the front of the field. That clean air is so beneficial on the front end of that Big Tex Autoplex machine. I'm sure he's loving how that truck is handling up front. Meanwhile, Greg Wood Jr. dives to the inside of Jared Hayes and is able to snag 4th position, put Greg up 4 spots from where he started. Back behind them, you have a couple drivers battling it out, but right now our attention turns back towards the lead, as Eddie Baker's been able to clear Justin Sumner, and now he sets his sights on the leader, Dakota Ramsdell. different philosophies into the corner you will see come to life all night long. Are you able to really hug that yellow line and gain on entry and through the middle of the corner? Or are you that kind of person that likes to give up a little on entry, have that light apex into the corner, and really thunder off into the backstretch here at Phoenix? This is a great onboard right here from Sumner. You can see how much he gains right here through the corner. And then the truck just struggles to grip on exit. Meanwhile, the trucks who drive the high line sacrifice on entry and are able to make it up and then some on the exit. The trade-off, tire wear. Drivers who are able to wrap the bottom very well are going to eventually chew into some of the more handling issues that we see for some of these guys driving to the top lane. Tier 1 setup shop machines duking it out back here. This is Milliken and Erickson battling for 6th. Bill Sleep looking behind them. These guys are trying to make it work for them as they continue to duke it out side by side for 6th place. I'm sure Bill's writing in his notes right now because Bill has been a big rumor for the Tier 1 Trackside podcast in terms of getting a big interview. There's a lot of plans to get Grandpa Bill in the seat, get him to sit down and do an interview. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's coming. And Bill Sleep able to sit down with Tier 1 Trackside podcast. And we want to encourage you to check that video out as it dropped this morning here on the channel. I'm sure he's writing in that notebook for a possibility of getting interviewed next time. Meanwhile, up front, speaking about notes getting written, I think Greg Wood's just sitting back here in 4th, just watching, learning. It's no secret. Greg really likes Phoenix. So to be able to study the strengths of these 3 drivers who have it going on right now at this portion of the season can be very beneficial, especially this early on into the run. Bill Sleep looking to the outside here, trying to defend off TJ Elaine. It looks like Elaine's able to make the pass here. Yep, there's the slide job in front of the 65. Now he's going to set his sights on Matthew Erickson. Meanwhile, back up front, 3 trucks all in a row, making sure that not one of them gets away from the other. Ramsdell, Baker, and Sumner, all within 0.3 of a second of one another. And it's been this way lap after lap. Those 2 drivers that are 1st and 2nd, they love that higher line. And then you see Sumner really wrap the bottom, hoping that it'll pay more dividend in the longer run. Our focus goes back to the battle for 6th position. 7th position, excuse me. Elaine trying to make a pass on Erickson. Elaine seems to be making some moves here at the midpoint of the run. The 51 truck doing a great job. Meanwhile, Matthew Erickson coming out of the last corner, the last lap, got into the fence, went into turn 1, got in the fence again. Trying to keep that 28 machine on the racing surface. Struggling with the handling of that machine. The gap between 3rd and 4th is about a second or so. It continues to fluctuate. There we go. Look at this. You can see how Sumner and Wood continue to yo-yo off of each other in terms of lap times. Here on the graphic, thank you, Brett in production. Live timing and scoring right there. Boom, lap 13 statistics. Now you can see Sumner, he's sort of now drifting up the racetrack as well, being able to float a little bit higher. Why? Well, because the 2 drivers in front of him, they used to use that line in turn 1, but at this point in the run, you can't do that anymore. So you continue to set sail into the corner, drifting up higher and higher and higher as the handling goes away. Drivers underneath you now find themselves in the premier racing surface. Right there in that second groove, Sumner now finds himself, not necessarily painting that yellow line as much anymore, as Eddie Baker continues to slide up the racetrack. But these three have been the class of the field so far. See the lap times between third and fourth. You see the gap starting to grow a little bit more between Greg Wood Jr. and Justin Sumner. Meanwhile, back here, this is a story I think worth following. TJ Elaine makes a pass for sixth, put TJ Elaine up 4 spots from where he started tonight's action. He's actually tied for the biggest mover of the race. Elaine now sets his sights on this guy, Jared Hayes, who is the last driver into the playoffs. I'm sure Jared's going to try to do everything he can to rack up as many points as he can. I'm sure he doesn't want to fight Elaine for too many points. Greg Wood Jr. now finds himself more or less here in no man's land. He's got a nice view of the front three, but not really seemingly to have a lot of forces underneath that Toyota right now to get him up there. You can take a look here on the onboard. This is what Greg Wood Jr. sees. The driver of the 67. Great view of the top three. Probably wishes to be right up there with him. But it has been Dakota Ramsdell from the jump. And further on back, we now have a battle for the 8th position. Bill Sleep and Matthew Erickson now going at it. Bill, I think, had a tricky restart to the beginning of the race. Fell back and is now trying to rebound. Made it pretty clear about Grandpa Bill. He's methodical most weeks. And Eddie Baker now trying something a little bit different on this end of the racetrack. He's going to have at least something different to say with Dakota there on the exit of the final corner. They all wind up in the same place at turn 1 and into turn 2. 10 laps go here in the stage. And did Eddie Baker just choose to chill for a little while? Maybe. Maybe he's just trying to give Dakota Ramsdell some different looks. The top three have been pristine tonight so far. No real drama. Everybody kind of knows where the others are racing. Really respected one another. As they get a little sporty, Greg Wood Jr. has been able to slowly, very incrementally chip back into this. He's now back to that 1 second-ish gap that he was on before. And I'll tell you what, I don't know what happened to TJ Elaine in the beginning of this race, but if this guy gets some track position and he finds himself at the end of a long green flag run, watch out for the driver of the 51. He is picking them up and putting them down right now. This is a battle for the 5th position, and I'm sure Jared Hayes would want to do everything he can to possibly keep this precious point. There's just nothing you can do right now. Shout out to TJ Elaine. Meanwhile, back up front, you got a little bit of a gap. This is probably as far spaced out as first and second have been. You can see lap times a little different there between first and second. Nearly a tenth and some change between first and second. And that's actually going to open up the door here for Justin Sumner. So he takes a look to the inside. He's done that a lot tonight with Eddie and has not been able to get the truck to stick on the exit of turn 2. 3 and 4. It's like stalking his prey right behind him. Greg, all that he's hoping for is, hey, just keep on battling. There's only 5 laps to go here in the state. I want to be up there. You got precious points now between these drivers. I'm sure Sumner wants to do everything he can to make sure that his competitors don't get the jump on him in stage racing. The gap is 12 between these two drivers, Baker and Sumner. Meanwhile, Dakota, this would be big for him because he's 22 points back going into tonight, and winning the first stage of this race would be huge for him. Gotta shout out Dakota here. I think he's done a really good job defending. Sometimes drivers can get freaked out having a couple really fast guys in your mirror. We've talked about it here on these broadcasts before, just loving the consistency, falling in love with the rhythm of the car, making sure that ultimately you're hitting your marks every single lap. And that's what these two competitors forced Dakota to do on this run, and Dakota just didn't blink. Continuing to be faster than the two behind him. We're on lap 28. Conclusion of this stage will happen at the end of lap 30. We'll throw a yellow and be able to get some new tires on these trucks. But right now, the gap is 0.8 of a second between first and second. As Ramsdell is running away in the last 5 laps or so of this stage. That Big Tex Autoplex machine looking strong early here from Phoenix. Coming from the guy who finds himself 22 points away from the lead. This is everything you could possibly ask for. Lead every lap so far. And get out there. Win the stage. Put your name on this race early. Got to get through one more lap in order to get this stage win, but all things are looking really great for the driver who has turned it up going into the playoffs. Give stage 1 to Dakota Ramsdell. Baker, Sumner Wood, TJ Elaine climbs his way up to 5th. Jared Hayes will be 6th. 7th, Scott Milliken. 8th, Bill Sleep. 9th is Matthew Erickson. And Dave Harrington will round out your top 10. These drivers are getting ready to go down pit road. I want you to keep Bill Sleep in mind during this pit road rotation because we talked about how Bill was going to be the featured interview on the Tier 1 Trackside podcast. I want to tell you a little bit more about them. You can find that episode right now on the YouTube channel, Tier 1 Trackside podcast. When the checkered flag drops, conversation starts. Join Brett Bullard and Matthew Erickson every Monday morning starting at 7 a.m. for the Tier 1 Trackside podcast. Your all-access pass to the Tier 1 Racing League. We break down every series, every race, every big moment, plus driver spotlights, setup shop winners, and peek at what's coming next. Whether you're in the pits or on the track or just a diehard fan, we've got your weekly dose of Tier 1 action. Find the Tier 1 Trackside podcast on Tier 1 Studios YouTube channel. These drivers are hitting pit road now. You can see on the ticker just about what they're going to do. Generally speaking, I'm pretty certain it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for all of these drivers. But look at Sumner grab a gear, able to get a position on pit road exit. With Sumner up to 2nd. Let's talk to Justin now that he's off of pit road, our in-race reporter. And it's our in-race reporter, Justin Sumner. Zach Woods up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, sir.
Look at you gaining spots on pit road. You want to talk to the fans about your stage 1 experience?
Super tight. It's just the top right here. These guys are protecting it pretty hard. I felt like I was faster than Eddie. I don't know about Dakota. I couldn't get to him in time, but just top apparently is, if you could protect the top, you're good. So we'll see what I can do. See if I can find something out with Dakota here and See if I can get another spot further.
I got good news for you as the lights are off on the pace truck. You're starting on the top, so go and get them.
That's right. We'll see what we can do. We just got to get a good start here and maintain.
And that is Justin Sumner getting ready for the restart here, as we will be now racing for lap 60, the next opportunity for these drivers to go down pit road. Let's see what that top line can do on the restart. Historically, not a great line to be in. And I'm sure Justin is doing everything he can to try to make sure he's protecting up there as well, because you got a guy like Greg Wood Jr. behind you. I'm sure he's ready to make up some spots as well. Barney's on the flag standing, ready to say we're back racing, and he is, and they are, and the drivers are back underway here to grab stage 2. And almost immediately, Ramsdell protects the outside lane going into turn 1. The goodies are still on the 94 machine. He's trying to do everything he can to make some way, and there's some contact. Eddie Baker gets into Greg Wood. Jared Hayes is also in it. I think Matthew Erickson also finds himself into this wreck as the 84 skidded down the racetrack. Yes, some damage there to the Tier 1 setup shop machine. Multiple playoff drivers involved. Let's see what happened here. This is a battle between Baker and Greg Wood Jr. Hard racing right here on the start, and that would be a bump. Would be a bump, and you know, on cooler tires, this is about the only time during the entire run the truck can get away. And that is the danger, driving the low line and the high line for that matter. You know, you really have to be able to hope that the guy underneath you on cold stuff is able to keep it all underneath him. But if I could bug Brett, yeah, Brett, really good in production. He's already on it. There's more to this story, so I want to see what goes on back here. Let's start with Jared Hayes there in the 46 Superflow machine and see what goes on with him. Side by side with TJ Elaine, and yep, he's trying to brake to avoid it. And so often when you do that in these trucks, you brake super aggressively, it likes to jettons in out to the left or right, depending on the angle of your wheel. And that's exactly what happened to him. Matt can't really predict where the 84 is going to be there on the racetrack. He finds himself down pit road. So Greg Wood Jr. on pit road with some damage. Matthew Erickson also. Eddie Baker also on pit road. Jared Hayes has been in and out of pit road. You can see all those drivers have pitted on lap 36. So this does shake up the running order just a bit. It will also mess with our timing and scoring for just a second because of how pit road is and where timing and scoring finds itself on the racetrack. You can see some of those drivers that are in blue aren't necessarily going to be in blue by the time they wind up catching the field. You can see Baker and Erickson are on the lead lap right there. I know Dave Harrington pitted on lap 25, so he finds himself one lap down, pitting under green flag conditions. And the pace truck is off, and these drivers are ready to go. One driver of note, TJ Elaine in the 51 machine, +7 from where he started tonight's action. You know that truck's good on the long run. Take a look for the driver of the 51 to put some pressure on some of these championship leaders. 2 by 2 they go through the restart zone, and Dakota Ramsdell will lead them back to green. Great jump there by Dakota. You can see Justin Sumner immediately tries to duck down to the inside. This could be the 94's opportunity, though, to jump to the outside lane and get that line rolling. That's exactly what he wants to do. Does the 83 have enough drive off? Sumner in the fence, able to hold on to it. Baker and Wood battling further back in the field. These drivers duking it out for the lead. Justin Sumner, oh, he anticipated the 83 to cut the dog leg, and he didn't actually do it. Oh no! Jared Hayes off the front of Greg Wood Jr. Eddie Baker, I think, is also in this. A caution here on lap 40, and I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, replays are, but I think what we're going to wind up seeing when they go and get the dog leg is two separate occasions of drivers anticipating moves across the dog leg that might just not happen. See what happens here. Greg coming back up. Yeah, two drivers there going for the same real estate. Might need another look at that. If not, that's okay. I'm not here to play referee or anything. I just trying to get a better view. I don't. There we go. Let's see. That's the net code right there. At least on my screen. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brett, in production, but trying to slow it down a little bit between the 67 and 46. It could be net code. Yeah, it could be net code, but ultimately, you kind of expect the 46 to be up a little bit more. Greg's not, of course, getting that information necessarily. We talked about it, the challenge of the dog leg. You saw it between the leaders right before that, and Justin Sumner moving down, assuming that he would have Dakota Ramsdell cut the dog leg, and it just didn't happen. You're not obligated to cut the dog leg at all, but when you do that, when you make that choice, you personally have to have a way to look out your right or left window to see where the other drivers are. I know for me personally, I'm not the best racer out there, but it's scary to go down the dog leg, because not only are you trying to make fast time, but as you exit into the dog leg, you have to look left to see if somebody's to your inside. And then when you re-enter, you have to look right to see if a driver is not only to your outside, but is fading as far up to the wall as possible. There's a lot of responsibility that lands on the driver when they make that choice. The payoff obviously is huge. You make up a ton of time by making that maneuver. Well, unfortunately, when not executed, you have some torn up race cars. Jared Hayes finds himself on pit road. Greg Wood also out of the race. These drivers now line up 2 by 2. Put a new contender up to the front. This is Scott Milliken in the 3 machine. A couple weeks ago, Scott got his first podium interview. I'm sure he's fighting for something maybe a little bit more with that wreck happening, and not to mention to the damage that's on Justin Sumner's machine. Maybe Scott's got something for him. The 94 just gets a great restart and just totally wipes away everything I was trying to build up there. Thanks, Race Reporter. I appreciate it. As the lead now is at 4 car lengths. Put DJ Elaine up to P2, however. Might not be for too long, though, as Milliken looks to the peak to the outside, but that's not the case. This is the battle I am most curious about, folks. Can TJ Elaine get a great long run here from lap 44 to lap 60 and have that same long run speed we saw in that 51 truck earlier, now up front, now against the leaders? And the favorite of tonight's event start way in the back? Some of these guys further on back trying to recover from incidences. Dakota Ramsdell pitting on lap 41, trying to make a move to get back to 3rd place. Super aggressive racing here through the dog leg. Trying to make that inside line work on Scott Milliken. Milliken into the fence, able to gather it up. Making that pass on the inside is just so difficult. You see the 3 charge into the final corner. He's going to pay for it on exit. The Big Tex Autoplex machine now dives to his inside. Looking to converge here going into turn 1. This could be a good slide job opportunity for the 83 if he takes advantage of it. Can he get the power down? Yes, he can. A slide job puts the 83 into third. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen there with Scott because that was a pretty big block from Dakota down the backstretch. Crossing each other over now. The battle remains here for third place. But Eddie Baker into the conversation now, sitting just behind. I think now with Dakota being able to choose his lane, especially in turn 1, you saw how strong that car was early on. Should be able to set his sights on TJ Lane here in second, who's done a pretty good job, all things considered, keeping within earshot of Justin Sumner. The magic of the 51 machine we knew was on the longer run. Eddie Baker a little sideways there for 5th place. These drivers trying to do everything they can to make their way to the front. Stage 1 was all Dakota Ramsdell, but with some drama, now we have Justin Sumner continuing to lead the field here on lap 50 of this 120 lap event. Scott Milliken looking to the outside, trying to defend his position from Eddie Baker. Baker tucks back in line at 5th, trying to make another crack at it, maybe on this end of the racetrack. Just to reel in the 3 machine. I think Scott, I don't know if he defended, he's looking to defend the high line into 1 or what. He might be just looking to concede here to the 94. Scott really struck me as a long-term kind of guy, and now I think it's the mission of every driver here to just prove me wrong in trying to talk about them. Justin did it on the restart. Scott, I'm trying to say, you know, he's patient. He's going to build the long game. Immediately dives down to the inside there of Eddie Baker. No worse for wear as now the battle heats up for 2nd place. And not only for 2nd place, but for 1st place. TJ Lane has done a really good job at keeping Justin Sumner just a few truck lengths away. Half a second between 1st and 2nd, and a few laps ago that wasn't the case. That was about 0.75 of a second. Now it's just half a second between these 2 drivers. You can see Elaine doing a nice little job here on the long run, and this is where the 51 came to life towards the end of the 1st stage. You got to remember, he passed nearly half the field, carving his way to a top 5 finishing spot. That truck's got some nice long run speed in it. Now Ramsdell trying to do everything he can to go back-to-back stage wins. And this is the point, you know, we talk about at the top of the show when it comes to racing for a championship. You have 1st and 3rd duking it out, trying to get as much points as they possibly can. TJ Lane doesn't care a lick about any of that. He wants to go out and win it. He wants to go out and make sure he puts his name maybe into the hat for next season. He wants to get noticed at this point in the year. He's doing a great job of that right now as the lead has now shrunk all the way down to 0.2 of a second, 1/10 of a second between the driver of the 94 and the driver of the 51. Pressure now here from TJ Lane to Justin Sumner. Rolls through turn 1 and 2. I tell you what, that 51, if he can just get that to hook a little bit more on exit, set himself up nicely down the backstretch. Hard to tell where the 51 could size up a pass. Again, the completion of lap 60 is where these points will be rewarded. On board now with TJ as he peeks to the inside of Sumner. He does such a good job on exit. Just not enough help down the back. But then he's able to cut this corner and get really aggressive through the dog leg. TJ Lane dives it down, looking to the inside of Justin Sumner for the lead. This is going to be a difficult pass, but can he do it? Elaine trying to get a lane, and he will without even cutting off the exit of Sumner. Oh, he did right there on entry. Look at TJ forcing his way to the lead. Put a new contender up front, the driver of the 51. I tell you what, if you're Sumner, you don't want to give up any more points to Dakota Ramsdell. You already did on that first stage. A pass here for second would shape the championship picture up once again between those two drivers. Meanwhile, TJ has put his 51 machine to the front and is pulling away from Justin Sumner. Lap 60 has been gathered. The completion of this lap will award the final set of stage points for tonight's action. And I don't think they got anything for the Great Lakes Sim Truck as the 51 machine thunders his way down the backstretch and is able to wrap the final corner and find his way as a stage winner here at Phoenix. Shocker from TJ Elaine. Man, I'm pretty thankful that a few weeks ago when TJ joined the server, I hopped in that voice chat and asked him, hey man, how do you say your last name? I think I know it. And I was ultimately correct. He was very gracious. Because of nights like this, where you become the show. TJ, starting last on the grid tonight, has clawed his way to the lead here at the end of stage 2. What a run. He's going to be able to dive down onto pit road, and the rest of these guys following suit. Going to get 4 tires and fuel to set themselves up for the last stretch of tonight's action. I'm going to talk to you about Easy Daybot as these guys are on pit road. Stream smarter, chat better, and grow your community with Easy Daybot. This innovative Twitch and Discord bot takes interaction to the next level by keeping your audience engaged and connected. Don't just stream, build a community with Easy Daybot. Don't listen to us talk about it when you can try it out right now. And along with that, AdminBoxx is built by iRacers for iRacers for the use in leagues and hosted races. Their goal is to make race control as easy as possible. Each AdminBoxx connects via USB and features programs that are pre-programmed commands. There's no key binding for race control. No key binding there for the 51 machines. He's able to lead them off pit road either. The AdminBoxx community is made up of over 150 leagues and have many members. All have one common mission: to run nice, clean races and help each other out. Let's talk to Justin Sumner now, our in-race reporter, and see what help he needs in that 94 truck. Justin, it's Zach up in the booth. You have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
On pit road for a hot minute, it looked like there was some miscommunication there between you and Dakota through the dog leg, a pretty common feature when one assumes to cut the dog leg and the other doesn't. But now it looks like you're all repaired and you're ready to go. What do you got to do here in the third stage?
I've just got to be smart. I've got to try to get up closer and see if I can pull off another Kansas and get a good undercut, as you called it. So I wasn't quite sure on the terminology, but now I know it's undercut. So I'll see if I can get back up here with these guys with the damage fixed and progress a little bit and finish this one strong.
All right, man. Lights are off. We'll let you go. Good luck.
Thank you.
That is Justin Sumner, our in-race reporter. I think I cut him off when he said thank you, but to be fair, I didn't think he was going to say thank you. You're welcome, Justin. It's great to have you up in the booth. But we're getting ready to go here getting lap 65 of this 120 lap event. And side by side will be TJ Elaine and Dakota Ramsdell to lead the field back to green. What short run speed does the 51 have? We'll discover that now over the next, let's say, 5 or 10 laps, as Eddie Baker has now inserted himself back into the conversation. He finds himself in second, now in front of Dakota. Oh no! Oh no! That's Dave Harrington into the inside fence. No worse for wear, as drivers are now catching a lap truck here of Jared Hayes. TJ Elaine elects to go to that top lane, trying to defend what's up there. Or maybe he just simply knows, hey, these guys are racing for a championship, and I have a long run truck. If I can just stay within catching distance, he's already proven he can make some noise. Now we got some drama up front. Eddie Baker and Dakota Ramsdell are going to duke it out now side by side, but they're catching a lap car of Jared Hayes, who found himself on pit road forever and a day ago on lap 41. That truck is now all repaired. He is now back out on the racetrack. But I'm sure Jared knows, hey, every point matters. So he fixed the truck. Now finds himself back in front of this group. How are they going to handle the lap machine? Baker to the high lane. Cuts it down way to the apron. Tries to make a pass, and he does. That's going to hurt Dakota Ramsdell's exit, as he now has to tuck in behind the Superflow machine. 46 does a great job on entry into 3 to get way out of the way. Meanwhile, further on back, TJ sliding. That short run speed just isn't quite there this run. 3 wide here. Not great. Can they make it work? Milliken does a great job backing out of it, choosing to fight another day. The lane has dropped to the 4th position, now having to defend off Scott Milliken in the 3 truck. Back up front, the story is Eddie Baker. 0.6 of a second up on Ramsdell. Nearly 1.2 seconds off on Justin Sumner. We heard him at stage break. He's still got a couple tricks left up his sleeve. Let's see what Justin's able to do. These drivers are going to do everything they can to not just save tire, but maybe save a little bit of fuel. Make that last little run to the end not such a long pit stop. See here, biggest mover of the night clearly is TJ Elaine. Great story from him tonight. These drivers are now just trying to settle into a groove. Let's go through the field real quick, shall we? Now the drivers are a little spaced out from one another. We'll take a look at your favorite driver and the Penske for tonight. It's Eddie Baker in the familiar Soul Tire machine out of Franklin. He's leading the point right now, followed by the driver of the Big Tex Autoplex machine, Dakota Ramsdell out of Paradise, Texas. Behind him, that black car mafia machine of Justin Sumner, points leader, Twin City, Georgia, looking to reel in the front too. 4th place, much has been made about this guy tonight. His long run speed is still there. TJ Elaine, 4th place. 5th place, driver of the Tier 1 Setup Shop 3 machine, Scott Milliken. 6th, Grandpa Bill Sleep. Having a nice quiet night so far. Behind him, Matthew Erickson. Not making a ton of noise right now, but he knows, hey, I'm in the playoffs. I got to keep care of the truck. The driver out of the forest. Dave Harrington did a good job saving the truck. Sitting up in 8th right now, +1 from where he started. It's other than that one spin, a pretty uneventful night for Dave. So, good race out of him. Last driver on track right now is Jared Hayes in this Superflow machine. Many laps down at this point. Just trying to hope for some misfortune from others. Meanwhile, the lead still sits around a second. He's flirting between a second and about 9/10 between first and second. And now we get to the part of the race where these drivers have to be content on hitting their marks over and over and over again, trying to outduel the driver in front of you. If you like action where there's battles every lap, where drivers are finding themselves in positions much like these guys, we will encourage you to follow Tier 1 Studio, because you're going to find that there's more than just Truck Series on this channel. We also have multiple series, including a ARCA event, which is tomorrow night. That's brought to you by THDesigns. I want to talk to you about THDesigns as the drivers are making their way towards green flag pit stops. Are you looking to take your ride to the next level? Whether it's iRacing paint schemes, liveries, or digital graphics, THDesigns has you covered. With top-tier attention to detail and creative designs that make you stand out on track, THDesigns brings your vision to life. Don't just settle for ordinary. Get a custom look that really turns heads and wins races. Check them out today. Get your car looking as fast as it drives. THDesigns, where champions get their colors. Driver here who's looking to be a champion, Justin Sumner, has reeled in Dakota Ramsdell. And now has to pass him. Getting to the back bumper of somebody is one thing. Passing them here at Phoenix is a whole different story. Justin lamented about it earlier in the race, how if you are able to defend that top lane, as the 83 truck is doing, it makes it very difficult, especially right there where the 83 cuts off the air of the 94, making him tight on exit. You have to get creative, I think, on this end of the racetrack in order to propel yourself down into the apron. How are you getting that good run off of the final corner to set yourself up well for this long sweeping straightaway, which is otherwise known as a dog leg, for those of you who might be wondering. Side by side now. See, tucks back in. The drag on these trucks is just so immense. You can get side by side, but then you don't have any momentum. You see how the 94 just bites just a little bit more off of exit there. It's a matter of inches at this point. Look at him. Now really makes himself known here going into turn one. Dakota's not just going to roll over here. This is important for green flag pit stops. But this is the best Sumner has been in terms of this battle for a second going into turn three. Ooh, Ramsdell making sure he's just barely clear enough to slam the door on the 94 truck. These two competitors have raced hard with one another most of the season. It has to be a lot of respect given between these two. They know how to race hard with one another. Dakota doing a great job of fending that run off. Meanwhile, the gap is continuing to grow between first and second. And it's because when you get battling like this with another driver, you're way more concerned about, hey, am I cutting off his air? Am I making sure that I'm disrupting his entry? It becomes less about how you're piloting your car and more so about how am I disrupting the guy behind me? And that's where time gets bled off. And that's where guys like TJ Elaine can reel these guys back in. Meanwhile, up front, you can see bit by bit, Eddie Baker just a little bit faster than the guys behind him. As lap 85 will turn into lap 86, these drivers are doing everything they can to get as much longevity out of the tires as possible. See how high that 83 is going into turn 1. You can tell the handling's starting to go away on that Big Tex Autoplex machine. You can see it there, truck down pit road. That's a 66 of Dave Harrington. He's done that a couple times tonight, pitting a little bit early, trying to take advantage of some fresh tires and maybe some clean racetrack in front of him. That comes at the relief of Eddie Baker. He was catching Dave pretty quickly there. But all these drivers up front hit it on lap 62, so in terms of their fuel window, they're all right about around the same spot. Just how have you managed the truck thus far in the race? Big deal by Justin Sumner on that last restart. Remember, when we interviewed him, he was about 7th, 8th on the racetrack. He said, I need to get back up there. As you can see, that truck really wiggling now as he's trying to do everything he can to get around him. He knows he's losing time. And that is Dakota Ramsdale's cue. Hey, I'm going down pit road. I'm losing time to the leader. I've spent a lot of time fending off the guy behind me. I'm going to find myself on pit road. If I could ask production one thing, it would be to bring up our pit road ticker. And I know it's not really convenient in terms of knowing where folks are on the racetrack, but feature I love about this pit road ticker is that if you are curious about, hey, did my driver get caught speeding on pit road, we are going to see that on this chart in real time. And now you understand the interval, right? You see the gap. It's a little funky when it comes to judging distance. Not everything's perfect, you know. We like to have fun here, but when a driver speeds on pit road, and we hope it doesn't happen, they will have a penalty icon next to their grid spot. And this tool is so useful for green flag pit stops, much like this. I'm actually quite surprised that Eddie Baker has stayed out as long as he has. There he goes. He's going to make the dive down onto pit road. That's a few extra laps to the competition that he's not getting on fresh tires. Yes, it will be useful in the long run. But if it funnels back to Dakota Ramsdale, that might be the move of the race, judging by how hard it is to pass here. Bill Sleep continues to be the leader. 3 drivers have not pitted quite yet. Oh, nope, it would be just Bill here. And yep, Bill's able to stretch that fuel out. He's coming down to pit road now. Meanwhile, it will be, I think, Eddie Baker, as he's going to leave pit road. We're going to see the gap here in real time. I think a big benefit here for Eddie. Look how big that gap is between the 84 and the 83. That is huge. Partially, I think, because he took 2 tires on the 94 machine. And also partially because we saw Dakota Ramsdale, he was fighting some lap traffic trying to get back through. It wasn't necessarily clean racing surface for him to maximize his time. So there is a chance that Eddie Baker takes 2 tires. The gap, fairly substantial between first and second. 2.7 seconds. Oh man, did it come down to a 2-tire call here at Phoenix? The driver of the Sullivan tire machine doing everything he can eat into the gap with just 3 races left to go here in the regular season, or here in the postseason. My goodness, we left the regular season a long time ago. It's now a push for a championship, and Eddie knows he's 12 points behind Justin Sumner. A win would be huge for him. But we have so much racing left to go. 26 laps worth here from Phoenix. Eddie Baker looking right now to continue his hopes for a championship. He's catching the 7th place machine of Matthew Erickson, who right now is on the lead lap. I'm sure Matt will be smart about this maneuver, but you still want to fight to stay on the lead lap, especially if you're a fellow championship contender. Matt came into tonight's race 29 points behind the leader, sitting in 5th position. You can see the gap. That's the gap between Ramsdale and Sumner. The gap between 1st and 2nd is 2.8 seconds. You just see there, I mean, it's that's tough. That's tough. I mean, if Eddie did take 2 tires, he's making it look real good on that Sullivan tire machine. At least early on in the run. We know tires mean something here at Phoenix. With the drivers as spaced out as they are, I just behoove Eddie to just drive for a moment. Conserve your stuff. You got a pretty big gap between yourself and Ramsdale. Some notable runs that I want to mention right now, as you saw right there, the driver Matthew Erickson getting to the fence, going into the dog leg. I want to mention the guy up in front of him, the guy who stayed out actually the longest on that pit road cycle was Bill Sleep. He actually wound up leading a couple laps because he was able to stay out. And now he has the freshest tires in the field. He's chasing down Scott Milliken for a top 5 finish. That'd be a really nice run for Bill. Scott doing a great job here in the 3 machine as well. Minding his own business too. 2 drivers who had playoff dreams that are no longer. Meanwhile, back up front, you saw there, first time in a long time, Ramsdale's able to just do anything with the lead. It's so marginable at this point. As I mean, Eddie Baker in turn 3 gained a whole 10th there on Ramsdale. That's even sitting behind Matthew Erickson. This could be problems for Eddie, though. You have the Superfluid machine. That's Jared Hayes. I don't know how much speed's in the Superfluid truck at this point, but assuming 4 fresh tires on that thing might make it run a little bit better. Eddie looking to the inside, trying to put 7th place Erickson here a lap down. And that's just another truck in between 1st and 2nd with 18 laps to go. This gap between Sumner and Ramsdale is getting pretty intense. I think we'll have a battle here at least for 2nd by the end of this thing. TJ saw the handling on that truck starting to go away as he was in the fence pretty hard. But again, the gap between him and the next guy behind him is so big. It's almost hard to fathom that anything will come out of making a mistake. If you're TJ Elaine, you're about 13 seconds up on the next guy behind you. Meanwhile, Eddie's sitting pretty with 3.3 seconds and 3 trucks between him and 2nd place. See the gap here, 0.8 of a second, almost 0.9 of a second between Sumner and Ramsdale. You never quite know what's going to happen here as the laps continue to wind down. Fatigue's starting to set in. We talked to Justin in the beginning of the race. This is a very physical racetrack with 120 laps around the circuit. You know, your concentration could go away. you could find yourself in a compromising position. Looking back up towards Eddie Baker, he's got a mirror full right now of Jared Hayes. And Jared, as I said earlier, he's got 4 fresh feel goods on that thing, and I know his night did not wind up how he wanted it. Getting involved in an incident early on. Maybe Jared is out here just racing for funsies, trying to do everything he can to just get some measure of enjoyment out of the day. It's so hard when you're this many laps down. Mathematically, you're not gaining anything on anybody else. You grab 4 fresh feel goods and you go behind the leader. And I think this is a great time for Jared to just learn, right? Learn from the guy who is currently quickest on the track. Mimic his lines. Try to find out, hey, what did he do tonight that made him so successful? I think part of that is what's going on with the driver of the Superflow machine. You know, use these last 12 laps as just like a teaching tool in order to scribble down in your notebook for next time. The gap between first and second has now ballooned to over 4 seconds. And it's not a contest right now. Eddie Baker has walked away from the rest of the field. Meanwhile, these two, I told you, they were going to be able to duke it out here right at the end. And it looks like Ramsdale's got himself a fight with Justin Sumner behind him. This would be big for Dakota if he's able to fend off Justin Sumner. You know, that's a whole extra point. You can say, hey, I did better than you at this stage of the race. Doesn't matter if it's one position or many positions. With Ramsdale being 22 points behind Sumner, every point matters over these next 3 races. So this battle that we're watching right here as the time dwindles down and the leaders really far ahead of the field, this battle right here could factor into the championship. What if Justin Sumner needs 1 more point to win the championship at the end of the season? Maybe we look back on a past like this and go, that's what did it. So these drivers are still racing hard, still doing everything they possibly can, especially as playoff drivers, to bolster their hopes for a championship. On board now here with Justin Sumner, we got a great view just how different these two drivers are racing this racetrack right now. Grip at an all-time high as the track continues to get cooler. As the night wears on here in the desert. Look at Sumner, he's gonna sail it in here on the high line, trying to get the power down. But that Big Tex Autoplex machine really stable through the middle. Gets him on exit. Now here on the opposite end of the racetrack, a little more aggressive here on entry. He's going to pay for it here on exit. You can just see how aggressive that transition is right there and right there. And that's just 1 lap around this place. Imagine doing it 120 times. These drivers are doing everything they can to put on a great show. 6 laps to go will turn to 5 as Eddie Baker continues to lead on the rest of the field by at least 5 seconds over his nearest competitor. The closest battle on track, you're looking at it. The battle for second place continues between Dakota Ramsdale and Justin Sumner. I think for these two drivers who each won stages tonight, or no, Sumner lost the stage, to TJ Elaine. That makes this even more so, right? Let's talk about these three drivers, the 83, the 94, and the 51. All three of them in their own right were very strong. Nobody could get in front of the 83 during the first stint of the race. And then, during the second stage, Justin Stoner dominated. Only for the long run speed of TJ Elaine to scoop in there and steal stage 2. All three of these drivers probably wondering what could have been as the laps continue to wind down here from Phoenix. Because right now, Eddie Baker's putting on a clinic. 5.2 seconds ahead of this battle right here. And still being hounded by Jared Hayes. I do actually think, I would like to think that Jared's doing a good job at just trying to learn. But as I say that, he looks to the inside of the 84. Doesn't quite force the issue or make a move there. Battle continues back here for second. About a car length and a half between second and third. As we now grab the final lap here from Phoenix, presented to you by Tier 1 Setup Shop. The driver of the Sullivan Tire 84 machine has done well enough here in the third stage. Maybe some strategy pulled into play. We'll definitely be hearing from him. Why? Because it's Eddie Baker's race. He's going to pull off the win here at the first leg of the round of 6 here at Phoenix. Eddie is starting his celebration early as soon as he crosses the start-finish line. We're going to go side by side now, and you're not going to miss a thing as we get interviews ready in short order.
At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an Easy Day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Welcome back to Phoenix here as we just witnessed some awesome Truck Series action presented to you by Tier 1 Setup Shop. We're going to get the race winner up here in the booth. Hey, Eddie, you know what solves the 12-point deficit to the championship lead? Oh, I saw you. I couldn't hear you. Eddie, it's Zach up in the booth. You have a copy? Oh, I'm not hearing him.
You got me now?
There he is. Hey, let's try this again. Eddie, do you know what solves the 12-point deficit to the championship leader?
Hopefully winning the most laps led and leading a lap and winning the race.
You go win the thing. Hey, you managed to get the win here, Phoenix. And yeah, you pretty much did a little bit of everything today. Talk to the fans out there about your night here at Phoenix.
Yeah, well, the truck was pretty tight to start off. The first two stages, I was really just trying to keep some points and hoping to stay ahead of the 94. The 83 was super fast. But then, after the end of the first stage, on the cold tires, I don't know, I kind of was trying to run the bottom. I think I touched doors with Greg, and I don't know if he got loose or got on the wall or whatnot, but he come back across the track and spun me around. Thank God everybody used the brakes this week because I just saw a catastrophic failure happening right there. And then on the next restart, the 46 and the 97, I believe it is, or 67, got together, and I got collected in that. So two separate times I had a minute or more of damage, but stage 3 was a lot better. It seemed like the closer to the front you got, the better it handled. I kind of fought tight conditions all night long until I got the lead, and then it actually came to life. So I think clean air really played a part in it. And then on that last stop, I saw everybody trying to undercut me, so I took 2 tires, and at that point it was really able to drive off the right rear, and that was definitely what suits my style. So once I could plant that right rear and drive off of it, it was game over.
Well, we were thinking about it up in the booth, right? Because you're right. Everybody did, track position was king here tonight. So everybody figured, hey, we're just going to undercut him. And then he just stayed out and stayed out and stayed out. And not only did you not lose on those guys, you gained. And we up here in the booth were like, I'm pretty sure he took 2 tires, and he's making 2 tires look really, really good. So yeah, driving it off that right rear, we noticed it up here. You were wicked fast on 2.
Yeah, the setups tend to be a little too tight for me. It's usually loose entry, tight center, and tight off, or loose off, but tight in the center anyways. And my style is kind of on the ragged edge. I like to be able to work the throttle and turn with the throttle and saw at the wheel a little bit. And, loose is fast. That's kind of what they tell you, and that's what I like. So once I finally get a chance to have that happen, it is kind of my strong suit, I would say.
Well, we're so used now to talking about the 84 Sullivan tire machine, but I know you want to give them a shout out. Do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Sullivan Tire, thanks to Alyssa T, my grandmother, anybody else that I might have sent the link to that's watching. Finally happy to have people watching get in victory lane, and had a really, really bad string of races there where, either something silly happened or somebody was doing something and I got caught up in it, or a couple times I made mistakes in my own, whether it's this series or tomorrow's series. So glad to have that behind me and be back in victory lane and see if we can't go hunt down the 94 for this championship.
All right, man. P1 here at Phoenix. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, Zach.
That is the race winner, Eddie Baker. Unofficial points results is Justin Sumner is ahead of Eddie Baker by 7 points in the championship. Let's try to get our second place finisher up in the booth. This guy's always a good talk. Dakota, it's Zach up in the booth. You have a copy.
Yep, I got you.
Hey man, you did a little bit of everything out there tonight in that 83 Big Tex Autoplex machine. Talk to the fans about your night.
I give it a pretty good night. We ran as hard as we could. Excuse me. Eddie Baker, man, he was flying on 2 tires, and I never tested it during practice or anything, so
I don't know how the truck handled on 2, but he said it handled great where he can just plant that right rear. So have to remember that next time I come out here, and yeah, hopefully it's a better outcome. But I'll get P2 at the start of this championship round. So
Well, I mean, at the beginning of the race, everybody was gunning for you, and you managed to race an excellent stage 1. Got a stage win. Great points night for you overall. And I think we talked about it towards the end of the race. As you were fending off Justin Sumner there, we were talking about how, hey, every spot matters, and you finishing in front of the points leader is still a big deal. So I know points racing isn't the sexiest thing to talk about, but I think for the most part, you did a pretty good job out there today.
yeah, huge points night for the Big Tex Autoplex Toyota for sure. We really couldn't ask for more for what we were given to us. We had a little bit of damage that we had to take care of there, middle of stage 2. So fought back and got a P3 there at stage 2. So yeah, huge points night for sure. And hopefully that gets me a little bit closer. I was 22 behind him, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, 20.
Oh, it's 20
Yeah.
now, unofficially. Good stuff. Well, do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for tonight's effort?
Yeah, huge shout out to my wife for supporting me, and huge shout out for my dad for he got in here in the middle of stage 2 for crew chief. Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Dad. And huge shout out to everybody that watches there at the station, and definitely got to shout out Big Tex Autoplex, Deckmate, and Pontoon Stuff for supporting me.
Well, I would sing happy birthday to your dad, but Brett has to pay me extra for that, and we don't have it in the budget. So, from Tier 1 Studios to Crew Chief Dad, happy birthday. Go and enjoy it.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, that was Dakota Ramsdale in Paradise, Texas, willing that P2 effort. And now we're going to get our in-race reporter, our points leader, the guy who does it all, Justin Sumner, up in the booth. You have a copy?
I do, sir.
You want to talk to the fans about that stage 3 effort? I mean, you restarted back in like 7th or 8th and managed to claw your way back up through the field. What more could have happened for things to break your way there towards the end?
I think I just overcooked my right front. I could run the bottom and catch the guys, but passing them is another thing. I did see some discrepancies on pit road when we did our green flag pit stops, but I guess that's just on me. I stayed far out right, and I lost a lot of time on green flag pit stops by doing so. So I think that's ultimately what killed me. I might have been able to be out in front of Dakota if I would have done any different, but I mean, all in all, I can't complain. I had a good first stage and second stage and finished P3. So I mean, I'd like to be further ahead in points going into Dover, because out of the 3 tracks, that's my worst in my opinion. So gonna see how it goes. Going to give it my best effort and try not to overcook the right front at Dover.
I know that will be. Oh, there you go. Unofficially, you're 7 ahead of Eddie and 20 ahead of Dakota. So the lead does shrink a little bit, but hey, that's why you raced so hard earlier to build up that cushion now. So when you get to Dover, you got a little bit of wiggle room. So do you have any thank you sponsors or shout outs you want to give for this P3 effort on the 94?
Absolutely, guys. First off, thank Tier 1 Racing and you, Zach, for the broadcast, having me as a in-race reporter. My teammates over at Black Car Mafia. No. Thank you, sir. But my teammates over at Black Car Mafia. No, you first. No, you hang up first. No, anyway.
You first. No, you first.
But, my teammates over at Black Car Mafia with Terry, Scotty, Rev, and DC. Appreciate the guys. Amanda May Creations and Custom Sublimations, Sambo's Hog Trough Seasoning, Black Sunshine Designs. Everybody in my chat that's helping me out over at the Big Dog Network, coming and showing some love. I appreciate these guys. And just all in all, for the most part, it was a clean race. Just needed a little bit extra right front and some luck to get up a little bit further. But I'll take a P3 and still got a lead going to the next two races. So we'll, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So we'll see what we can do here.
Well, I just want the world to know I may not be able to beat Justin Subner on the iRacing sim, but if he challenged me to a kindness off, I think I stand a chance. So go and enjoy this P3 effort, and we'll catch you next week. Over.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
And that is Justin Sumner finishing third tonight here. You first. That might go down on the blooper reel. We'll might have to clip that and put it somewhere. But let's take a look at the finishing results for tonight. Eddie Baker by over 5.5 seconds captures a win here on the first leg of the Championship 6 journey here from Phoenix. He finishes 5.5 seconds over Dakota Ramsdale, and Justin Sumner rounds out your top three. TJ Elaine, great effort, great drive for the driver of the 51 to finish fourth. Scott Milliken fifth. Bill Sleep sixth. Matthew Erickson winds up seventh. Dave Harrington brings the 66 home in eighth. Jared Hayes, 24 laps down, finishes ninth. And Greg Wood Jr. rounds out the top 10. He was involved in a early incident here. Well, we want to thank our great partners here, whether it be those involved with the Tier 1 Racing League or Tier 1 Setup Shop, or across many of the other racing disciplines Tier 1 Racing Series has. This has been a great journey so far here at Tier 1 Studios. And if you agree with me, we want to encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing across the many racing disciplines Tier 1 has to offer. We look forward to catching you back on the track here next time. My name is Zach Woods, and for our producer, Brett Bullard, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be able to catch you on the track tomorrow night.